Hey YouTube, this is Zach with Achilles Financial, and we are back with another big week in the stock market, and I think we're going to be in for a really interesting week. The reason for that is because we have closed out Q2, and I think that this is really going to be a calm before the storm. We've seen a lot of influxes of coronavirus cases. However, it doesn't look like the market is really going to react to that news because deaths have really stayed pretty low. And the only time that I think the market is going to be impacted by any of that is if we anticipate seeing the closure continue to happen of certain states. So as long as the cases are rising but deaths are staying low, I think we'll continue to see a rally, in particular for across the broader market. So that being said, we've got some interesting approaches to some of the stocks that we can look at and what we're going to be seeing on a go-forward basis. So this week we don't have a slew of economic data that is really full of any market movers. We've got some manufacturing data which can push some industries, but overall I don't think we're going to be taking a look at the economic data this week. And the reason for that is because, again, there's not the market movers like we saw last week. We did have a killer jobs report, so I anticipate that momentum is going to continue. So with that being said, what are some of the options that we can take advantage of that we can be looking at? So two stocks that I'm going to be looking at are going to be NVDA and PFE or Pfizer. So NVIDIA, again, they have held up just so well. I'm just going to look at the 3-month. Ever since they jumped up to kind of that 350 range, they've really been bouncing around there. Up until last week, they really held above the 380 support level, and I really think that they're going to be over 400 by the end of this week if we continue that breakout momentum. The problem with NVIDIA contracts is they are expensive. So if we're going to be trying to play that contract, if we're going to be saying, hey, I want to play NVIDIA, we have to recognize that their contracts are just so expensive. So you can see here, I mean, we're looking at 205 for a move that's a $15 move, and that is not a small amount. I mean, we're looking at a 3% move for this stock over the course of the week. And while they can do it, I don't know if we're going to see that happen this week, but I do want to watch this and see what it opens at. Again, this is not necessarily taking into account any futures for tomorrow or where the stock is going to be moving. Again, it went up another 50 cents in after hours. So that's not reflected in those prices. But those are the ones that I'm going to be watching, as well as Pfizer. Again, we've been talking about Pfizer, and they opened up on Thursday a lot higher than where they actually finished. So you can see here they were up at the high point of $35.05, and they dropped back down, but they steadily rose throughout the day, ending right at $34.50. I really do like Pfizer for their dividend. They do have ex-dividend at the end of the month, so there's a play to be made there. I'd like to add them to my long-term position. I do think that that's going to be one of the items that I'm going to continue to push for and try and get a hold of them. I do have another set of contracts, or just one contract, so it's up a little bit, but I'd really like to see a big swing there. This is one that I am probably going to hold till the end of the month, just because I do think if it continues to go up, we'll see that reflected in, I mean, if we saw it go up to $40 a share, I'd be super, super happy. So I'm going to continue to watch that, but no superb excitement. It's really going to be dependent on, are they going to announce additional news on either A, any of their myriad of drugs, or B, some vaccine research. So that's what I'm going to be looking at. And then the next one that I want to look at, just on a broader market, and I don't normally talk about really any of our ETFs out there, but the NASDAQ as a whole has just been performing so well, and this is really keeping up even the S&P 500 on a continuous basis. The NASDAQ is traditionally more of a tech-heavy ETF that we can be looking at here. Essentially, it's investing in everything on the fund. And if you look at what we've seen over the past 3 months, we're seeing a 26% return on essentially a market-wide indices. That is insane, and that is encompassing nearly the entire sector of tech. So a lot of big movers, a lot of the big boys are on this stock. So I've been looking at this one as a long-term hold, just because even though it doesn't move too much, as you can see, it's up 21% over a year, and a lot of that movement has come over the past 3 months. So it's nothing crazy. However, it is something that I am going to be watching, just because it's a strong bet that this will continue to go up, and something that we can ride on the volatility. However, one ETF that I was looking at in particular is when you do the NASDAQ, we can actually look at the biotech shares. And I was looking at this IBB. This one is a little bit different of a play, so you can check this one out as well, the BIB. But IBB, I really like this just for a long-term hold. You can see a very small dividend. However, it's a big mover. So if you look at 3 months, again, this one's up nearly 29%. And again, this is an ETF, so it's a large set of stocks, a big pool. But this is one that's going to continue to have a lot of excitement around it. And I think that just by virtue of the fact that more and more money is getting poured into the biotech sector, then it's one to be checking out. So I am going to be looking at this one as well as the NASDAQ fund. And again, the two stocks I'm looking at are NVDA as well as Pfizer. So if you have some plays that you're looking at, please comment down below. And if you found this content helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. Thanks.